level of commitment that's been expressed here and the amount of support that we have. We're not just going to bend over to get a contract.
I'm out here because I work for a company that doesn't believe in equality, and I work for a company where a few are rewarded and the majority of people are not even recognized or acknowledged in any way, shape, or form.
Solidarity, brothers and sisters. This is what this is all about. It's about basically keeping together and stopping big business and even those who purport to be small business from screwing people.
So I'm out here for change. I think if you want change, you can't talk about it. You have to get off your ass and do something about it.
Scab TV! Scab TV! Scab TV! Scab TV!
I think we saw them right away for what they were. They were goons. They were there to intimidate, to try to provoke incidents, which they could then capture on film for injunctions. A lot of people had reservations about being on the picket line at first. I think some of the leaders of this strike actually got out and showed them that these guys, you know, they're not really effectual because they couldn't intimidate us. We never let them intimidate us.
Like man to man, you know, like fucking one-on-one or something. Hey? Ever fucking gone one-on-one with somebody? Hey? You know what, buddy? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to touch the camera.
Hey?
Each of them got out of the rig or wherever they were and got nose to nose with me, basically wanting to fight. The owner of the freaking goon company went nose to nose with me. I mean, the owner of the company was out there trying to get a fight with me. You know, all he wanted, he kept going, give me your best shot, give me your best shot, give me your best shot. And all I could say was, F you, F you. That's all I could say. You got to be pretty low and scummy to be sending people out to fight your employees. And fighting your employees is not a way to settle a strike.
Immediately within the first day, one of them tried to pick a fight with me just because I had long hair, was wearing a leather jacket, and I was Indian. He figured I'd be the easiest guy to pick a fight with. I laughed him off and told him to go away, and he did.
I didn't call you any demeaning names yet, have I?
Actually, called him. Yeah. Maybe he's just fed up.
Well, go back to work.
Well, you got
Jesus Christ! Walk in the fucking door and get a job if you still fucking have one.
But I've seen some people become quite passionate, just simply because of what we're trying to do and the tactics that they are using to try and force an end to this. You know, intimidate us out of fighting for our rights.
Yeah, probably.
Don't fucking push it, buddy. Don't push your luck.
I have absolutely no respect for the scab. They completely disregard democracy. They completely disregard the rights of other individuals to better their working conditions. They see one thing, and that's their own self-interest.
They can say we did the right thing, we were loyal to the company. No, you were loyal to yourself, and when the company's done with you, they're gonna kick you out on your ass just like yesterday's garbage. That's all they're gonna do. And the company doesn't think any better about you for being a scab. They don't think you're loyal. They think you can be bought. They think you're weak.
labor community's been tremendous in their support. 777 has been here. UFCW has thrown us some barbecues and been there, with the placards on in support. AUPE opened their checkbook, anything we needed. The nurses union have been here in great numbers. There was 500 nurses down on Jasper Avenue. It means more than the money they've donated and the time they've donated to just be there and show the solidarity and commitment to our cause. And it's just very encouraging.
Boycott Canadian Tire because they continue to support A-Channel during our labor dispute. And as long as they do that, managers at A-Channel think the bottom line's being met and they won't negotiate with us. So we don't want to be here, but this is where we got to be to end this labor dispute.
What this all means is that it brings the strike to the front door of the retailer. We have to affect their bottom line, and the only way we can do that is through advertising. A picket line simply does not affect the employers the way a strike in another situation, another union, another job setting would. What happens is that the station gets the message. This is what we're trying to do, is we're trying to have a message sent to the station through the advertisers as well, saying, look, we mean business, but we just want a fair contract, and this is our only recourse. If we had another way, if in fact walking the line was effective, we would do that.
I mean, people on the other side think that we're not having any effect, but we'll come out here and we'll get, 10, 12 people to walk away from here, and 10 or 12 people, that's not spending money in their store that would have.
I'm just asking you to leave. This is a private country.
Yeah.
Just letting.
Yeah, we believe that we have the right to be here, though. So you can do that if you like.
We will be on the street.
As long as we have reason to believe that we have every right to be here, that we can be here.
You're harassing my fucking customers, okay? That's a right. You get the camera the fuck out of here.
Under the charter rights.
You'd like to know who's going to pay your fucking wage once you get back to work if nobody's advertising. Piece of shit. Union boycott.
Isn't that up in the corner there, that curb that he's standing on? If I could please gently move back. Gently move back off of the property. Okay, hey, I've asked you not. I was out here 10 minutes ago.
You didn't point it out. You didn't say.
I asked you guys to please stay off the property and not harass
Stop pushing us. We'll move.
People that have no role in this dispute other than the fact that they're doing business with A-Channel have been targeted by the union, have been terrorized in some cases by the union.
Here comes the lawsuits.
I think we're going to get spanked some more.
It is a tough fight. I mean, but we're here to fight it. We're not going to give up. We're here to fight, and if what we got to do is stand out here on a minus 26 day with a boycott banner at Canadian Tire. That's what we got to do to win this fight. And we're winning. We're costing them money.
Here's $5. You guys have coffee.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
The reason we were in Toronto was we needed to let the managers and the owner who are in Toronto know that our strike is going on and it's going to affect them in their backyard. We're not going to just isolate this struggle to Edmonton. If you look at the financial stability of the company right now, they're not in good shape, and if we made that a consequence for them not treating us fairly, well, then that's kind of what we were going for.
Okay, well, we warmed up inside the foyer there at the entrance to DeBoer's Furniture, and then they got the security to come out and ask us to leave because the building is private property. So we said no problem. We come out here to the sidewalk, and then a couple of minutes later, the security guards came out here and tried to tell us that half the sidewalk is actually private property. So we told them, go call the cops. This is public property. We'll be here as long as we need to be. And we started to blanket the parking lot with our handbills on the windshields of both Future Shop and Canadian Tire. They share a parking lot with a PetSmart sandwiched in between. So anyway, we're taking a new strategy where we just go hard on the windshields. Again, we got the line, this is private property. We don't mind if you do it out here on the sidewalk, but it's private property, so we can't wait until we have that meeting with the Toronto City Police and their labor cops so that they can tell us exactly what our rights are. But for now, we said that's fine. We hand-build the rest of the windshields, and now we're off to Winners. Okay, it's 3:35, still on Friday, and John and I spent about 40 minutes or so here at Winners. And finally, a manager came out and questioned John, and we explained the situation, and they seemed very amicable. They said, oh, I guess you have that right. At first they said we were trespassing again, but we explained the situation, and he's on the phone to their marketing department right now, so mission accomplished.
We got to Toronto 1 in 2 buses that the Ontario CEP had provided for us. We wanted to make our presence known. We wanted to make them nervous that we would be showing up on their, or we would be audible on their microphones.
This station and this fight is not just exclusive to A-Channel Edmonton. It affects every single one of their stations across the country, and they have to buck up and give us a fair contract because we've been fighting for it for a long time, and everybody back home in Edmonton deserves it, and they thank you for your support. Thank you.
We were making noise and shouting chants and that sort of thing. And somebody said, well, I'm going to try the door. And he tried the door, and he opened it, and a bunch of people went inside. So we basically occupied the lobby of Toronto 1, making noise, shouting slogans through bullhorns, that sort of thing. Eventually the police showed up. I think the police in Toronto are probably quite familiar with these sorts of protests. They, kind of made a deal with us that, okay, we're going to stay for the first 15 minutes of the newscast, and then as soon as that is up, we're going to leave, and that's what we did.
Your protest songs are so low. Why can't you modernize it up a little bit?
Well, give us one.
Come up with something, I don't know, from this decade maybe,
okay.
and change the words around a little.
All right, well,
We wanted to be clear to the Craig media that the Conrad Blackler Squirrel are part of our history, not part of our future.
My feeling all along, as difficult as it has been, we've had our ups and downs, let's just stay the course.
So I came back from the Christmas holiday, rested up, and feeling incredibly grateful that we'd had this opportunity while we're on strike to have a wonderful Christmas. So I was horrified to find out that not everybody felt that way. I'm sure they were grateful, but I felt in that meeting that we were being ambushed.
I don't see an end to it. I don't see there's even really a desire to even not compromise, but let's cut hook and let's go back to work.
I don't want to go back into that building and work with that crew that fucked me over. So that's my incentive for not rushing back to go there, because I don't want to ever work with those people. I have no respect for them.
But there's no point in going back if they treat us like it's just a job, because they look at us and say we're dispensable. They look at us and say, you're not worth shit.
I'm out here to win this goddamn thing. I'll go as long as I have to get a fair fucking contract. That's bullshit. I've lost money too. I'm on strike. I'm gonna win this fucking thing. Right on.
Someone had made a motion that any information from the company had to be shared with the membership. And my feeling was that resolution would lead to the company exploiting the situation and bargaining around the bargaining committee.
But you know what? It's a free flow of information. You shouldn't be keeping stuff from me.
And that is the problem, not the back to work protocol at this point. That if we feel like we're not getting all the information from the bargaining committee, how do we have faith in the bargaining committee?
Why should the union committee be the mailroom for A-Channel?
Because they thought the union was going to send it to
I read that,
us.
and I was initially concerned when I read that, and then I reread it and I realized what it was really saying, and I wasn't too worried about it. So as far as disseminating information, I think I disseminated it myself pretty easily.
Okay, let's take a vote. All those in favor say aye. Raise your hands. All those against? Well, I'd say the motion's passed, so great. I can't see why you need a bargaining committee. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, where are you going? Where are you going?
I'm going
Is
to
this
the
meeting
camp.
over?
Well, I don't think you need a bargaining committee anymore.
Okay, we need to talk. I know that it's tough being a leader. That's why none of us want to do it. But when people have a concern about something, and they, like in this instance, when the majority makes a decision, you have to respect that as leader, and you can't take it personally. And the problem is when you walk out of a room, when you walk away from a union meeting like that, the union falls apart. There goes their leader.
If this is a free and true democracy, which is what a union really is, then we have to let people do that, even if we don't think it's in their best interest. Sometimes they have to fall down on their knees and get a boo-boo and learn the lesson that way too.
Show faith in your bargaining committee. Ask for what you want, but don't walk out of this room angry. Don't walk out of this room angry, and don't let them tear you apart now, because we've been out here too long to let that happen.
This is A-Channel News.
A challenge. Back to the ratings, they dropped considerably. Like pretty much every show dropped 50%, except for the new newscast because they completely abolished that once the strike was on. And I think that's a reflection of the loss of us, because they don't have as much support in there. They don't have as much manpower. Everything, the 6 o'clock news was reduced to a half hour. People are going to change the channel.
We had ratings slip in other stations across our system that are not in a labor dispute. And our CEO has said publicly that our station is not for sale.
So our first objective was to affect their programming, and in spite of what the station maintained for 5 months, it did have an effect.
The strike at A-Channel may soon be over. A tentative agreement was reached by striking workers with the company.
It's over.
At union headquarters, a mixture of relief and elation. The bitter strike at A-Channel is finally over.
I think you're all aware that your negotiating committee reached a tentative agreement with management on Monday night.
We had done the preparation every day, 7 days a week, doing those three objectives, the programming, the advertising, and the ratings. And then, fortunately for us, it was announced that the company was for sale. That's when the company finally had to admit this strike has had a major effect on us, and they cried uncle.
I've stopped thinking
valid. Stacy and I will do it together. Or the three of us will do it together. Here we go.
Okay, we have the results of the ratification vote, and the vote is in favor to accept the contract.
And I know you guys put it all out and put it all on the line, and so did I, and we won. It was an irresistible force against an immovable object, and you busted this shit. You're here!
You guys are working class heroes. Anyway, of strikes that have been lost. They weren't for naught. The Calgary Herald strike wasn't for naught. We gained a lot of respect and we were able to do a lot for workers. But what you did here, has set the future for generations to come. That young people can work in this industry with pride and do a good job and with dignity and integrity and a collective agreement. You did it, and hats off to all of you. Standing ovation for everyone.